pull up some music. Hold up. Okay. What? I was playing this earlier with Vacay featuring Brooke
Oh
Aloha.
yeah, Brooke. Yep.
Okay, let's see. Oh, let me share my sound. Pull up some music. Hold up. Ooh! All right. So we live streaming. It's official. Welcome to the Women in Hip Hop Wednesdays podcast, where we honor, we chronicle, we sprinkle flowers on the women who are birthing the culture, who built um, the culture bearers and creators and visionaries. And we are live, y'all, right now. Oops, and I'm looking down at my screen instead of at y'all. We're
That's
live right now on youtube.com/Coco Peila. With the one, the only Vicky Casis. Oh my goodness. Hey girl.
how you doing, Coco? Uh,
I'm good. So listen, I'm chomping at the bit to ask you all these questions, but before we even get into it, I want to play, it's not a super throwback, but I want to play this song Vacay off of Casis World, right?
Cass's Row. Yep. Cass's.
Casis World. There we go. My bad. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Don't have me messing it up the whole interview off of Casis World. And this is featuring Brooke Aloha, right?
She goes by Brooke D now. Yeah,
Brooke
so
D.
formerly known, but yeah, Brooke D. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Featuring Brooke D. So we're going to play this first and then we're going to dive right into the intro. I want y'all to, as you're pulling up, get your water bottles, get your tea, get a little snack. We're going to be doing a deep dive. And so this is where I feel like such an old school disc jockey, like
I
you are
know, you hear the
live.
voice up?
Ah!
I was
Ah!
gonna say that too. And now we're live back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome back. This is Women in Hip Hop Wednesdays on WBLS.
That's
Um,
it.
I'm ready. Where y'all at? Okay, let's see. So, all right. And then tell me if you can hear the audio once I start playing it.
Mhm.
Can you hear it?
Yep.
Yes. Let's fly side by side. Take me anywhere as long as you are there. Into the blue. Travel miles away. Let's take the next plane. Go somewhere new. I wanna see the world through your eyes. I wanna see you smile. I wanna swim through your mind. I wanna be aligned. Let's fly side by side. Let's fly, just you and I. Take me anywhere, as long as you are there. Watch flowers bloom. Travel miles away. Let's leave today. No time to lose. I wanna see the world through your eyes. I wanna see you smile. I wanna swim through your mind. Oh my Lord. See, that just took me to a whole nother planet.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. So thank you.
Yes. So that was Vicky Casis featuring Brooke D, and that's from Casis World. It came out a while ago, but it's super dope. And I wanted y'all to get to hear a little bit of what, just one little peek, one face of like your really rich production. And we'll circle back to this later so that you can talk a little bit about your process when you work with artists. And we're also gonna listen to some of the cuts from Ultra Rise Beats too, which I'm in love with. I'm like, are all of these being used right now? We need to sit down and talk. But okay, let's actually get into the formal introduction. um, for those of y'all who are just arriving, we are live right here on the Women in Hip Hop Wednesdays podcast with the one, the only Vicky Casis. Um, of course, I'm your host, Coco Peila, multi-hyphenate hip hop artist, MC, singer, songwriter, record producer, and the music midwife. But today is actually not about me. I have the honor of sitting down with a woman whose beats, vision, and sonic fingerprints stretch from Brooklyn all the way to London to global fashion runways. She's a powerhouse music producer, a dynamic DJ, a live beat set innovator, and a cultural architect shaping sound across media, fashion, and even live performance. And she's produced for incredible independent artists and contributed to music documentaries like Contact High and E's Black Pop. She's DJed the WNBA Championship, the Panamanian. It's the Panamanian Day Parade, or
Yeah,
I, wa-
they mhm. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, okay, the Panamanian Day Parade, and even Broadway's hit show, The Collaboration. She co-created QSTV, Quality Sounds TV, curating spaces for global creatives. She's also the in-house music coordinator for fashion brand Marissa Wilson and Y, scoring fashion campaigns. Um, and NY Fashion Week runway shows. It's like, girl, can I get a breath in here? Her
Uh,
de her debut album, Cases World, and her beat tapes, Ultra Rise Beats and Cases Flips, are out now everywhere, and they're fucking dope.
Thank you.
Um, please welcome the brilliant, the visionary, the beat sorceress herself,
Of course.
Vicky Casis.
Thank you. That is like the best introduction I think I've ever heard about myself. So thank you. I feel honored. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome so much. I'm like I'm kind of beside myself and just so excited that you agreed to come kick it with us, and really excited not only to sing your praises and share about your achievements and your journey, but also just like your story. So many young girls and even adult women like find ourselves letting self-doubt or fear get in the way of pursuing any desires. So Women in Hip Hop Wednesdays is really to honor the women of this culture, but it's also to honor women everywhere. And we have a lot of people who tune in who are not artists or wouldn't consider themselves artists, but are so inspired by the fierceness of the women. So I'm just in just excited to have you. Um, your sound is unmistakable. It's soulful. It can be sharp, warm, gritty, hypnotic. I want to ask you, what does producing mean to you right now in 2025? And then we can kind of go back and talk about where it all started.
Producing now, especially now, it's the soundtrack, it's the backdrop to the world we live in. Um, because whatever artists want to write to, whatever they're feeling, whatever the emotion, whatever it is, you know, that's where the sound, the production, that's where, producers come in and filled they fill that void, they fill that space to where that vision can really grow into something that people can resonate with. So production is like so important to me. I mean, even if you look in our past history, just even like Marvin Gaye, what's going on, any of these tracks, Sly Stone, Aretha, all these artists where they talk about the times and the music, it supports what they're feeling and it supports what the people are feeling. So production is like so important, and I'm proud that I'm able to be part of something like that. You know what I mean? I'm able to like create a soundtrack, a backdrop to any medium, whether it's in fashion or in TV and film, or for artists. Like I'm really honored to be able to, present my sounds and my sonics to the world, for anything. So yes, very important.
Yes. Not every artist believes that art is for self-expression and also to chronicle the times. Um, Girls, see, I'm gonna get away from myself. Before we get into this, your process and your unique perspective on art, let's go back to little Vicky, young Vicky. Like, where did this all start? Tell me about first, like your vision for yourself, what you were like as a young Black girl.
Mhm.
And then we can talk about hip hop specifically.
Yeah, no, I lived in a musical household. My mom, she's not like a musician or anything like that, but she's a music head. So she put me and my siblings on to all genres. So she had records, and she like every day she would just be playing music from whether it's Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, or Earth, Wind, Fire, or Sly Stone, or Prince. Like it's a range. So, growing up hearing all these different records, really shaped, I think it helped shape me. But then also once like around 5, that's when I got into playing drums. Because I started as a drummer. So me and my brother Marcus, he's a guitarist and he's been playing his whole life. So I just me even witnessing him do shows and do all this stuff, and he's like 8 and I'm like 2 in a bar watching him play guitar. So yeah, it's yeah, crazy. Um, so we would just pretty much imitate or mimic what we would hear all the time. So like my mom, she when she noticed I was beating on pots and pans, then later on she got me a drum set. So and he would be
Hmm.
playing guitar or bass. So we would just listen to records and just imitate exactly what they're playing. So we would just over and over just play stuff. And from there, that's when I got more comfortable in drumming. So I was playing drums from 5 all the way to 16. Um, and then once, I got to high school, then I wanted to get more into production and producing. So I kind of left drumming and got more into like just creating beats and stuff like that. And from there, a friend of ours, Peter Panic, who he's a producer, he produced for Jay-Z on Reasonable Doubt. And he had a studio in on Empire Boulevard, but Flatbush, right by Prospect Park. And my brother, when he was like a teenager, he did session work. So anytime like Peter needed like guitar parts, whatever like that, he would come and lay down, different stuff. And then, he had all this equipment left behind, and then he would ask us, he was like, "Hey, you want some of my equipment? I'm not doing anything with it." So we're like, "Yeah, of course." So we got like a old Dell desktop, um, and it had Reason 3 on it. And he had like different stuff, but I wasn't heavy into production at that time yet. And then my brother, he went on tour. He went to Amsterdam. This is when he was probably like 18, 19. First time going out the country to go on tour with the family stand. And he said, "Why don't you like produce? Why don't you like mix?" He's like, "Go like produce, do something. Like you should mess around with this stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, whatever." So he went on tour for probably a couple months to a year. Then when he got back, I had beat tapes. I had beat tape. So what I would do, because I didn't have much, even though Peter he gave us stuff, it wasn't so much stuff. But I didn't have a beat machine yet. So I was just doing everything on Reason 3. So I would pencil in every like note and kick and snare and like form beats. That's how I like did it before you even do anything crazy on a beat machine. So yeah, I had beat tapes. And then when he came back, he's like, "What's this?" I was like, "Yeah, these are my beats." And he listened to it, he's like, "This is crazy." And then I never stopped. And then I saved up. I got a machine micro, which is like the small baby machine, but it's great, especially for starting out. Any producers that are starting out, machine micro is great. Um, so I saved up, I got that, and then mastered that. And then later on, then I got my machine plus. And then yeah, and then it just went from there. And then yeah, I just started producing, making my own, creating my own projects and stuff. And then would produce for, different independent artists here and there. And then still wasn't doing live beat sets until really I got the machine plus. And then once I got the
Hmm.
plus, then I'm like, oh, maybe I should start, performing in front of people and stuff like that and doing live beat sets. But it took a long time to get there because I was not used to being in front of people like doing beat sets. Like you don't see it all the time. So I was, yeah, nervous for a while. I was like, I don't know. But my first show was at Donut Lounge, and that was, I can't remember what year, but it was closer to around, it was a little bit before the pandemic. So probably like, I think that was 2018, probably. And I did my first beat set in front of all these people, and I caught the bug, and then from there, I never stopped. Yeah, doing live beat sets. So that's kind of, yeah, my journey as far as music goes and like getting started. But rhythm is always important to me, especially being a drummer. Rhythm is everything. So it's just, I think, just getting put on to different sounds and soundscapes and music from my mom, and then drumming. I think all that shaped my sound, because even now when I create, like, the drums is the most important thing, just that rhythm, and then taking it, and building on from that. So yeah, that's kind of like my musical journey. Yeah, from the beginning. Yeah.
I love it. And I love this. I love the progression from playing the drums, and starting at such a young age to making the beats and Reason to the machine. You said it's a mini? It's a
Yeah, so the
machine
machine micro.
micro. There we
Micro.
go.
So yeah, it's a nice small size, but it's great to get started on. And I, use that to create a lot of stuff. But then I was like, once the Machine Plus came out, I'm like, I gotta get it. So I saved up, and I got the Plus, and that was like the best thing ever, because it's like you can do everything. You have the option. So with the micro, you have to connect your computer, and you can use the software in your machine. But with the Plus, you can do it standalone where you don't need a computer. So it's kind of cool. But you can still, if you want to still use your computer because you're comfortable with how to do it like that, you still can, but it's just more things you can do as far as with the Plus, doing it within, without a computer. Um and mastering that, and then trying to find how to do my live beat sets. Um
Mm.
I think before, I think when the Plus came out, people were trying to figure out, just, okay, maybe how can we do the live aspect of it. And what I like to do is use it like a SP. So like with an SP, you basically assign in, tracks to each pad, and then from there you play it, and then you have filters and effects. So I just, that same process I use with the Plus. And then from there, that's how I do kind of my sets similar. So yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so I know that like the producers, the beat makers, um, the record producers, and even those of us that are like really curious about getting into production are just salivating hearing you talk about this. Um, let's see. Oh my gosh. Tell me about why, I mean, I hear like, okay, your brother, Marcus went out on tour and encourage you to get into beats, but some people start in one genre or have one cultural music expression and then they move around. Now I know that your sound and your music is not only confined to hip hop music,
Mhm.
but tell me about like where along your journey did you meet hip hop culture? Where did you, I mean, clearly, you were born and raised in Brooklyn, right?
Well, I was no, born in Florida. So I was born
Born
in
in
Fort
Florida.
Lauderdale, Florida, but I left Florida when I was like 8, 9, and then
Okay.
lived in Brooklyn, yeah, from there on. So yeah. But I would say with hip hop, having older siblings, they put you on to everything. Or
Yes.
you're like a sponge. So whatever they're playing, and they're like, oh, what's this? And it's like, oh, you gotta check this out. It's like all the time with me and my brothers, it's just like, you heard this, you heard this. So I would say artist wise, I mean, it's funny because I would put them on the stuff and they would put me on the stuff type of thing. So like Outcast is everything for us.
Mm-hmm.
So Outcast was just like, what? But then they would put me on to like Tribe, Dilla, Slum Village, Doom,
Mm,
right? But then I would put them on, let's say, to like Pharrell, Neptunes, Cuddy, um, all these variation, all these different artists. So like they would put me on the artists from, back then, and if I wasn't familiar with it already as a kid, Wu-Tang, all that. And then I would put it on the stuff that I'm like checking and listening to now and stuff like that. So it was really cool. I think having older siblings, especially if they're heavy into music, it helps, like because you just soak up just different stuff. So with hip hop alone, we would just go back and forth and discovering artists and be like, oh, check this out, check this out. Oh, let's check this out, let's check this out. So that's on the hip hop tip, but then also, like you said, my sound is not just hip hop. So then
yep.
um with our mom putting us on to like all this different others, genres, then it's kind of like a melting pot of just different sounds, different stuff. And then you take a deep dive and discover even more stuff. So I say with me, yeah, it was family just putting me on to like different stuff. And but then also me just being curious and discovering stuff, or realizing like, oh, the reason for Pharrell having this crazy sound is because he was obsessed with Tribe Called Quest and
Hmm.
Q-Tip. And so then you listen to all the Tribe stuff and you see that. And then even now you see Tyler is like, biggest fan of Pharrell and the Neptunes, Chad,
Right.
but you see where that lineage comes from, you know what I mean, with music. So and you see the connection and you're like, ah, I see it. Or even you hear it in the sound, you're like, oh, I know where that comes from. So I think just discovering stuff and taking that deep dive, it's great. It's amazing just seeing what people are inspired by. So and then you get so inspired that you create your own sound and come up with your own stuff. And then hearing people be like, oh, I heard this in your I see where you got that from, or like
Mm.
I see how you were inspired by that, like just from hearing, different influences and stuff like that. So, yeah.
What lineage do you feel like you come from? I think about this sometimes as a MC,
Hmm.
where, maybe I get into like comparing, like, dang, I'm not like, and it's like, yeah, but you're from this lineage, so of course that's not what you're doing. Like, what lineage do you feel like you resonate most with as far as producers or as far as sound sonically?
Yeah, I would say any type of producer that um where their sounds are like abstract in a way, like it's not, you can't put your finger on it because it's like they can go in different directions. And then even with sampling, they might sample like the most obscure, crazy thing. Now, right? So that would be definitely the Neptunes because their sound, no one has that sound. And it's like
No.
you can't even explain it, but it's different. Like it's different, but it works for any genre. So I would say that um Madlib and Dilla, I mean, their sound is just, yeah, it can't be replicated. You know what I mean? It's like the way they would just tweak stuff and sample and where they would pull from and their process, it's very different. So I would say that Timbaland, of course, because Timbaland would use very like crazy sounds too. And it's just how did you do that? Like it makes no sense. So I would say, yeah, those type of producers where they're using just weird stuff. Missy, of course, Missy Elliott. Also. Yeah. So I would say from that, because with my stuff, I wouldn't say it's like I can never like label my stuff.
Mm,
I can't be like, oh yeah, this is lo-fi or this is boom bap or this is I can't because I can go in different directions. So I like to just keep it like just open. I'm just yeah. I just do my own thing.
yes.
But yeah, I like producers that use like things differently or use different sounds or pull from different samples, but it's like weird, crazy stuff and make it their own. Yeah, that's my thing.
And tell me about like what the energy or intention behind the world that you're building with your beats is. I mean, does it change depending on the artist that you're working with? Does it change depend on the mood or what's happening in the world, on a day-to-day basis? Like,
I say it's a little bit of both, but also it's like subconsciously what I'm feeling. So even if I can't even explain what I'm feeling, it's like internally it comes out in the music, I would say. So because when I create stuff, I don't go in saying, "Oh, I'm gonna make this type of sound." Like I don't at all. My mind is super clear. So I have no idea what I'm about to create. I just start I just start going through sounds really. And
mm,
and and then I just build from there really. So I don't ever have an idea, but if it's something that might be real serious or I don't know, more intense, either that's just the vibe I just felt like doing, or it's coming from somewhere internally, but I just didn't realize it until I'm like, oh, that came from somewhere. Like,
mm,
where did that come from? Um, so yeah, I would say, yeah, when I'm creating, it's kind of just open, but if I am working for artists and they're like, I'm looking for this type of mood, I always like to say, what type of mood, what type of vibe are you going for? What do you want me to, you know, jump on? You know what I mean? If you're feeling this, or like maybe they might have an idea already. Like I work with JSwiss, a good friend JSwiss, and he's a rapper, but his mind is like he's like a jazz artist. Like
mm,
it's a different mind. But he'll sometimes send me acapellas and be like, hey, I have this. Do you have something that like a backdrop, something that could fit for this? Um, and with the track D&D, that's how that happened. So he had the acapella already, and he was like, "Do you have something for this vibe? I'm looking for something that's knocking, like something that's like simple, but it's like heavy hitting knocking beats." I was like, "Oh yeah, I got this track." So it depends, but that's where the collaboration comes, where you feed off of each other and go back and forth. So when it comes to that, working for artists and seeing what they want to do and the type of vibe they're going for, then we just work together and we build off of that. But if it's just me creating stuff just from scratch, then yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just whatever. Yeah.
I started looking around online. I'm like, wait, where do I find D&D? I want to
Oh
play it
yeah,
for people.
indeed, yeah. So it's on off of his album that dropped a couple months ago. It's called You Never Really Know. And it's a track of theirs called D&D. But that's how
Hold
that
up.
created. Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna play it right now.
You
Tell,
Swiss.
tell me if you can hear it. This is JSwiss and Vicky Casis D&D. Okay, give me a second. Give me a second. Let me get my life together. Hold up. We might have to refresh the page. They playing with me. Here we go.
I've been using D&D a lot these days. TNT the industry to plot these days. God the O&E who plot these ways. Tunnel vision, listen, he cannot be phased. Family the only I respond these days. Only energy where I cannot be paid. Family is more than only blood these days. I said I love you, you know what it was these days. I try to say it, I don't wanna hide these days. Cause we be losing people left and right these days. Funerals and vigils, I don't like these days. God says calm, but I'm like please stay. Black man's health on my mind these days. Another Grammy on the shelf, that's fine these days. Remember that we got limited time these days. So if you been blessed, go shine today. I'm on D&D mode, you got time to wait. I'll hit you when I see it, no time to waste. I'm working, but it feel like all kinds of play. More doing what I love, more time these days. I know you hitting me, I'm in the booth. I know you busy and I'm busy too. After I finish, I got a job, I got an interview. Nothing is new, know you waiting on the interlude. No time, but when I do, you know I'm hitting you back. Atlas with the earth, dog, picture me that. Shoulders getting heavy, know it's bigger than rap. I can't even hold up, let me finish the track. Tunnel vision, ton of missing calls and voicemails. All respect, working through some things I can't tell, even to my close pals. Know you meant well, but I'm knocking more doors than a maid at a 5-star rated hotel. Mental health break from all the writtens. Into that resistance, let me know to go the distance. I don't wanna have regrets, I don't wanna burn bridges. Wouldn't owe that much if it wasn't for the interest. Even with the odds, I would never bet against it. No, woe is me, no, it's me, I'll admit it. I played a role. If I ain't need it for the lyrics, you could take the phone. Used to get guilty, now it's you or me, I can't control others' emotions, and I don't have to hide mine. Anyone imperfect is a person in their right mind. I'm talking about
Okay. Powerful.
And shout out to JSwiss. Talent. I mean, please, anybody that's tuning in, just listen to JSwiss. I mean, his projects, he has so many different projects, and we talk about real rap and like, really talking about real things. Swiss.
Yes.
He also has stuff, for like, vibing and all that, but he's just very intentional about with everything he does, from rapping to performing. Like, he's amazing. Amazing. So definitely shout out to JSwiss. Check out his stuff. We got another project we working on. Can't say much, but yeah, we got
Okay.
we working. So yeah.
Okay, dope. That was fun. Oh my goodness. So you talked a little bit about your Machine Plus and like how as soon as you seen it, you was like, okay,
That's it.
that's the next one.
That's it.
You perform live beat sets on your Machine Plus all over the country and internationally. Tell us like what shifts in the room when you're performing live. I have had the honor and the delight to see you perform and run sets at least twice so far in my life. But yeah, what shifts in the room from your perspective? And for you, what does it feel like when you're performing live?
I think the shift, yeah, everyone is just they tune in, like everyone locks in. They're kind of curious, like, okay, what is she gonna play? Like, what is this? Because I come in, I'm like, hey, what's up, y'all? And then they're like, what's she about to play? So I always love that, to just see everyone's reactions and see how they feel for every beat, like, because I can go to different vibes, go from like different directions. So the mood is always just like everyone's just vibing, and they're always just curious to see like, okay, what's coming next? Like, what's that? Okay, and then what's the set going to be about? So, and then just the feeling of performing. I told you the first time when I did it, it was scary. I'm like, I don't know, but then once, like after 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, this is like powerful, because you're like controlling the mood of the crowd. Like you're kind of you're setting the tone for the crowd. So similar to DJing. So yeah, it's amazing just to see people just vibing and having a good time, and some are like inspired, and I love that. So yeah, it's a great feeling. It's always a great feeling to perform and do beat sets. It always is. And doing it in different places, I would say, different rooms, different crowds. Because the thing, it's doing a beat set, it's not popular everywhere as of yet. There's places there, it happens all over, but it's still kind of like underground. So not like
Yeah.
the average person knows what a beat set is. They think, oh, okay, this person's DJing, but they don't know. Like, that's why sometimes, like, when we do our QSTV shows, we're like, you gotta, like, when we introduce, or even before we, introduce all the producers, we're like, they're doing live beat sets. These are their beats that they created. These aren't songs from other people, and they're just putting it in a mix and DJing it. It's not that at all. And you're not doing it on a controller, even though some um producers, they do the beat sets on DJ controllers, but most of the time you'll see a SP, you see beat machines, or so you'll see like a SP, a machine, a MPC, you'll see any of those, or a controller. So, but these are these producers, these are their beats that they created, and they put it all together and mix, and then they add effects to make it like a live, feel for it for everyone. So it's different. It's still stuff, it's still not familiarized with like the general public. So that's why, like, with what we do, we like to go to different places and do these live beat sets to showcase these producers, so that more and more people, they get it and they understand. They're like, oh, this is crazy. I'm like, and then they start following these producers. And even if you're not an artist, I mean, music is music. So, then you got fans and people that'll start supporting these producers and their music and, their projects and stuff like that. So it's just, yeah, it's like a domino effect. And, yeah, being able to do it in LA and Orlando and London and all these different places, it's always an honor to do it. And you just and meet so many different awesome people and creatives from everywhere. Like doing live beat sets, it's taken me on a journey like that of its own that I didn't expect. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yep.
Oh my goodness. And when you said that piece about beat sets, live beat sets being more underground, I'm so grateful that there are still things that are underground, because I was just having a conversation a couple months back with my cousin about this, just kind of reminiscing about before we had social media and kind of the awareness of how we were culturally and how other people were. There was something more organic. It makes me think of, honestly, of Donut Lounge, and the first time I went, and I was like, oh my God, this is the feeling that I used to have back in the day. Like when we would, because it wasn't like I'm doing this so that I can post for the gram.
No,
It was like I'm doing this because, and it wasn't like everybody fucked with it. It wasn't as popular. So it was like this was something you were only drawn to if you truly, had like a connection with it. So I love that, and I love that there's a certain spirit of the culture that can be carried forward in the live beat sets. And right before you said it, I was thinking about the last time that, or one of the last times I was at the Donut Lounge. I was There was a feeling that came over me that doesn't come over me a lot these days, like at live perform. And it was like that. I don't even know how to really describe it, but it's like a certain pulse, it's a certain feeling in the air. And it is something about, like what you said, folks getting up and just it's almost, do you remember when we used to actually get in ciphers?
yeah,
It reminds me of that energy, because
it is. Mm-hmm.
you have your skills. You might even have a written, if you're an MC. I know that's frowned upon, but you might even have a written, or you might have, I know some MCs who have like certain things that they fall back on if they get nervous and they forget. They have a couple lines to get them back on track when they're freestyling. But ultimately, there's this collaborative, connective tissue, that is like alive, and it's this one moment that's shared only by the people that are there.
Exactly. It's a real special feeling. It's sacred. Like it's like you don't really know unless you're there. Like you really won't know, or you watch a live stream somewhere. But yeah, it has that raw, like you said, that cipher type feel to it, and only the people in the room, like, they connect with it. And even like I've seen it so many times where like people that they're familiar with live beats as they come and they check out shows all the time, but they'll bring a friend that might not be familiar at all, and they're hooked. They always get hooked. They're like, oh, this is crazy. Like this is, and like I think there's not so many places like that anymore where you have that. And so that's why it is important to just keep the beat scene, the beat culture, like, alive.
Hmm.
Um, because it's a special feeling, and I'm telling you, it's everywhere. It's just not on a public scale where it's like everybody knows about it. It's not like that. So like Japan has their own beat scene. LA, and it's large. Got their own.
Mm-hmm.
The Bay has their own beat scene. That's
Yes.
crazy. Crazy
Yes.
producer.
Yeah.
Um, everywhere. There's obviously New York, Florida. Florida has a crazy beat scene. Like Orlando,
Yeah.
crazy. Shout out to my peoples in Orlando and Hard Knock and everybody over there. Tampa, crazy beat scene. Miami, all these different places. But it's like you gotta kind of gotta know. If you know, you know type of thing. That's like if you know, you know. Or if you know somebody that knows about that, then you follow them. But it's great. It's great. So yeah, it's just keeping it alive and just putting the shine on, just a spotlight on just producers because it's not easy, like especially getting started. Because everyone is like when you get started out producing, you're trying to figure out what your sound is like, and mine's just going through so many different variations, and my sound still changes. So, but in the beginning, I was just trying to sound like, everybody that I was a fan of and trying to like, okay, how did they do that? But then you start discovering, oh, you like this and you like this, and then you discover you just put this together. And I like happy mistakes because that can, shape your sound and you even know, like you're making something and then you hit something and you're like, oh, I didn't even mean to do that. And you listen back and you're like, oh, this is crazy. Like this just like elevated my whole thing. So it's just, yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Being a producer, but it's not easy. And especially on the business side of things, it's not easy. Dealing with artists is not easy. With the splits, and it's still kind of like it's a crazy like loophole still, where producers aren't getting they're just due. You know what I mean?
Say
So
more about that. Say more about that
yeah,
because we hear
you
a
hear
lot.
stories. Yeah, you hear stories all the time. Just what, producers not getting paid or not getting paid on time or not getting the proper split, for what they did. Um, so the business aspect it's just as important as a creative aspect. And of course, as a creative, you don't want to deal with the business. Like you don't want to like you wish everything can just go the right way. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It like
Yes.
nobody wants to deal with all that. Like it's boring. Like nobody wants to deal with that. But you have to be as strong as you are as a creative. You got to be strong on the business side.
Oh
So
my God.
learning from other producers, other artists, and their mistakes. You hear stories all the time. I mean, if you go on Instagram, you can go to any producer like podcast and listen to other producers' stories about the business and how they got left behind and all types of terrible stories. So um definitely, yeah, just looking over everything, or if you can't really do that, then hiring somebody and trusting that they can do that to give you the right you know the right thing for you. So yeah, it's a process. um I would say with producing it's a lot of self-discovery, but also just being aware of everything in the business and making sure that you're paid the right way. You know what I mean? And everything is done the right way. It's very important.
If someone is newer, right, and they're trying to figure out what the right way is, like for example, me, I studied entertainment business. Even after I studied entertainment business, a couple years ago, I went back um, and studied music business, entertainment, and law, and like took a couple classes at a community college. Um, and still to this day, like I found myself, and this is not cute, but I found myself scrolling at like, 5 o'clock in the morning the other day on one of these bloggers. He talks about, music, kind of like the business
Mhm.
side. And I was just like, I always find myself being like, now I still don't understand splits, which is so crazy because I do actually understand it, but I think it's almost like because there's so many different ways to do splits, because people have so many different philosophies,
Yeah.
because what one person, like you might be the type of producer who you're creating the beat from scratch with the artist and y'all are collaborating, whereas somebody else might make a hundred type beats and put it up on BeatStars and just sell it off.
Hmm.
Whereas another person might be like creating the album from start to finish with the artist, really more as like a co-executive producer. So for someone who's just trying to wrap their mind around it, you know, how would you describe it? And also, the follow up is like, what is your dream split? Like, let's talk numbers because I feel like splits are almost like talking about money in a relationship. It's like almost taboo. Like, people are still really uncomfortable. And it's almost like who gonna split the bill type thing. Like
It
you go
is.
out on a date and you're
I
like,
didn't think of that. You're
okay,
so
should
right.
I, yeah, like, should I bring it up? Should I not? Oh
Yeah,
God, are they gonna think that I'm
like
greedy?
and when to bring it up, and because you don't want to be looked at like you're money hungry, but at the same time, I'm like, I gotta get paid for my services too, right?
But it's a business. That's the part of why I'm saying, like, let's talk about it because the thing is, I'm always going on rants about this. Like, music and art is the only, not the only, but one of the industries where people pretend like it shouldn't be about money, but it's like you never walk up in the Gucci store or go to the Benz dealership and be like, oh, okay, like let's not talk about money. You're like, how much is
How
it?
much is it?
You
It's
know?
the
And they're
service.
like, it's $100,000. And you're like, do you have payment plans?
Yeah, exactly.
Can I finance it? You're not
Exactly.
like,
Exactly.
well, I'm more of a creative, so I was thinking maybe you could just drop it down to $500 for me. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's only with artists that we kind of exploit each other or we get exploited or other people think like, oh, that's really cute and inspiring, but they don't see it as labor and they don't see it as like valuable. And oftentimes people do that thing, oh, like it should be about the community, it should be about this. And it's like, guess what? A hospital is about healing people, but it still costs money.
Doctors still gotta get paid, right?
Okay, so let's talk about the money. Let's talk about the money. Like
I'm
what?
not I'm
Go
now
ahead.
I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't get super technical with
Let's go.
stuff. I'm not. We have to get somebody in the
Let
room
me,
that
she
that
said, let me give you a
knows
legal
money,
disclaimer before I say
but
this.
I'm not. But I believe it should be like there should be some type of template. And it depends on what the project is. I would say that like if it's just you're a solo artist and you're working with just a producer, there's no like musicians or anything like that, then that's one template. There should be a template if there's a project and there's tons of musicians, uh
But pause.
writers.
Let's talk about what those numbers are. Say that you're an artist and you're working with a producer, and say that they have like 1,000 beats on their BeatStars or their SoundCloud,
Mhm.
and they're like, okay, pick a beat. What do you think that the split should be?
100. So like if the artist is a songwriter and the producer is the producer, he or she produced the whole project and you wrote, on the project, it did every song, then it got to be split down in half. It
Hmm.
can't be the producer getting like 20 or 30%. Like without the music, there's no project. It's
Yeah.
just straight a cappella. So it has to be split down the middle. It has to be. It got to be 100 100. It has to be. Now, but it does, I know it gets kind of crazy when you have tons of songwriters and musicians and then the producer. So that's where it gets a little bit tricky because it's like, okay, how much did this musician play on this song, like or
Hmm.
this project? So that gets kind of crazy. So I understand, especially for artists that just or a producer that's starting out, and it's just like, okay, how are we supposed to do this? But you guys have to discuss it. It can't just be like you just sitting there guessing, like, oh, well, I wonder what percentage or what my split's going to be. Oh, I just wait until the artist just brings it up. Like, if anything, like once you guys know what type of project you guys are doing, before anything, like just handle the business. Like just handle it
Yes.
before. Don't wait until you done worked so hard and created everything. And then now you're just waiting on to see what the artist is going to do when it comes to him doing the splits before he, submits it for, publishing and distribution. So it should be done first, I would say. And that discussion,
Yes.
it has to be discussed. Like it has to do it first. That's what I would say. Once you know
I
for what you have, what the project is, or even if it's just a song, like what it is and who's featured on it, if there's a singer
hmm
or whatever, there needs to be some type of discussion there. It can't just be like I wonder what I wonder. You gotta get paid. You gotta get paid.
And whatever it is that you agree to doing, it's like I've had all different types of situations. I've had a situation where I wrote a verse and you know, didn't really get that much. I've gotten paid a chunk for writing as a songwriter plus getting royalties.
Mhm.
I've had situations where me, the producer, and the other artists split everything just equally. It was like 33.3%, across the board. Um, and I've had situations where someone, it was like 50-50. We created it together. I've also had situations with like where you have a major artist and the major artist just they take what they take. And so then you and the producer have to figure out afterwards, like, okay, what are we gonna do? Especially when it comes to samples, you're like, I want to sample Beyonce. And she's like, that'll be 25% of everything. And then you and the producer have to figure it out. I think for me, I always lean towards kind of like what's equitable.
Yeah.
I would much prefer to split things equally, but then it's tricky too with certain dynamics because as a female, you have people who want to take larger amounts because they're
Yeah.
just used to it
Even
culturally.
though
Like,
they did the equal amount of work that you did, like on a song or a project. It's not like you said yeah on the track and you want the same amount as the producer. You know what I mean? Like
but that's some sessions be like that too. I heard like
you said,
especially in
that's it.
no,
Give me 50.
no, no, boo. Okay, let me ask you this. Just super, I know we're going down a rabbit hole, but I promise you, anyone who is like really pursuing this will be interested in this. But what do you think about, like, for example, songwriters who most songwriters write the lyrics, right? So you have 100% for the writing, the lyrics, just what's on the paper.
Mhm.
That's it. And then you have 100% for the music. But what do we do in the case where the songwriter is writing the lyrics, but they're also writing the melody, the vocal melody, which is kind of like the music, and y'all are collaborating together? How do you go about it in that case? And does it differ for you from like, say that you're doing a collaboration project and it's like you and the other artists and y'all cooking in the studio every day, in which case to me that's always like just split it equally because
I
like
would say it's equal.
y'all are yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's equal because yeah, the songwriter could be like, for these keys, say ha 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 ha. Well, the producer is still playing it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The producer's playing it, like actually performing it and doing it, and then you guys are recording it. So I would say it should be equal because it's true. Like that's why, like I said, maybe you should try to do it like before, or maybe there should be a
Yes.
person there to kind of oversee that controls, just like how in the court, how you have someone typing. There's a person
Yes.
in the studio that's like
Yes.
paying attention to what we're doing because when you're cooking up, it's no one's thinking of that. And then it's just your ideas just bounce off and then you're like, "Oh, we're doing this and we're doing this." And then okay, the producer might be making the beat, but maybe he or she might get on the bass or the guitar or the keys or might come up with something else. And then you maybe both were coming up with lyrics. Like it's so much, anything can happen in the studio. So there should be a person just overseeing that, like, okay, let's clock that, put that there.
Yes.
Make sure it's like fair.
I absolutely agree with you that people should do it beforehand. And I know like I wish in the past I had have handled that and not let the discomfort get in the way because once it's done, now it's done and it leaves you way more liable. What about a situation where, like Nas on Illmatic, sometimes there was more than one producer in the room creating, but some people say, for example, like a producer might say, well, if it's a Coco track and Coco wants to feature Beyonce on the track and Beyonce writes her verse and Coco writes her verse,
Mhm.
Beyonce is going to take 25% of the writing. Coco's going to take 25% of the writing. but the producer will take 50%. But then what about when there are two producers? Do the producers then have to split that 50%? Are you someone who's more
You
like,
can have to
let's
split.
just split it three ways
Yeah.
so that it's equal across the board for all
Yep.
collaborators?
Whatever the number of songwriters, producers in that room, it should be, and if you all are collaborating and creating, like equal amount of stuff, everyone should be split the proper way
I
to
feel
equal
like that makes it simple.
100, 200, whatever,
Yeah,
depending on what you're dealing with. But yes, it should be equal. If you got two producers, because that happens all the time, you got more than one producer that's working on the track. There's been tons of times like one producer came up with the melody, the other producer did the beat.
right.
Hey, so just split it down the middle.
Y-
Just split it down the middle. I don't know why we're making it difficult. Why are we making it difficult?
But it's so, I'm telling you, there are going to be folks who watch this video who will be like, all right, you know what? Let me have that conversation actually ahead of time,
I think
you
it should
know?
be, yeah, it should be done. I know because you don't want to be, like I said, you don't want to be looked at as like money hungry and it's like already thing. We didn't even bounce off an idea yet. And you're already like, all right, this is what the split's going to be. You know what I mean? But it needs to be done beforehand because I think after you're vibing and then you forget even that too. Like you forget, okay, what exactly did I do again?
Hmm.
Because it's like so
Or
much.
you think that somebody else did, you did
Yeah, I'm
something
like,
somebody else
did
did
I do
because you
that
was
or
just in the
did
vibe.
somebody else do
Yes,
that? Yeah. So it gets tricky because I've done even like the camps, like the songwriter camps, even with those because they'll have us in a group of like 5 or 6 people,
right,
and then we're coming up with stuff, having a great time. But then at the end, they come with the split sheets, and it's like I know kind of what I did, but I can't remember every single thing I've done. I
right,
played on the drums, then I did this. I'm like, okay, I think I came up with a line here. You don't remember because you're like you're creating. So it's like there should be something beforehand, just saying, okay, this is what we're gonna do. But then also there should be maybe someone there just to regulate, especially for those groups of like 10 or 5 plus, where there's
oh
tons
my
of
God.
songwriters and producers and artists. There should be somebody just regulating, just making sure everything is equal because and just keeping tabs because no one's gonna remember. No one's gonna remember.
And people get in their feels too, I think. Like sometimes people are not tripping, and then if something, has motion, you might feel some type of way. Like, oh, I ain't really tripping off that. Like, um, I always say too, like royalties are better than just taking a big chunk up front. Although sometimes you may be dealing with a bigger artist, and that's just what's on the table if you want to work with them. But you know, anyway. Okay. So we went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but I think that it's necessary. Um, let's talk about Casis World. Okay. So your debut album feels like an invitation into your universe. So many textures, your stories, the rhythms. What did you want that album to hold?
Exactly what you said. Cass's world is self-explanatory. I wanted you to enter to my world at that time. So at that
Yes.
time, that was the pandemic. So there was so much frustration. I created all that during the pandemic, but I wanted to put something out in the world just something where it's like people can relate to it because it is the pandemic, but you're kind of seeing my world because it's like my perspective of what's going on in a way. So, and I wanted to collaborate with so many of my artist friends on the project just to get that, that message like out there. Um, but that was the point, like I had like a song like called Frustration. It's short, but when you hear it, that basically kind of sums up what everybody was feeling at that time because everyone was just frustrated. You're in lockdown, you can't do anything, you're masked up, people get sick, people are dying.
Mm,
The government is like in politics is just all over the place. The economy is crazy. The rent is high, the food is high.
girl.
It's just it's just back to back stuff going on. It's just like, what are we doing? So that was just kind of like like frustrating type of mood that I wanted. And then like Pay the Price, that's another one with Chris and my other good friend. And yeah, like I just wanted that type of feeling out there. So then even like when you listen back to that time, like even late like later like years down the line, like when kids and everybody listen back, they're like, man, that's how you guys felt at that time. Like it's just
Hmm.
like, like when you read a book about something historical, back in the day, and you're like, oh man, this was like a crazy time. Kind of wanted that, but like sonically, you know what I mean, where you can listen.
Mm.
Oh, this is like a document of, how this person felt at that time, basically. So that, yeah, that's what Cass's World is. But it's kind of like it's like a wave, because it starts out like when you're frustrated and stuff like that, but then towards the end, it's kind of like you're kind of looking into the future and hoping for the best. That's kind of sonically how I wanted it to be. So like when you hear the last track, It's Real, it's kind of like the feature, the future, and kind of just hoping for the best, and not knowing what it's gonna be. Like you don't know what's the unexpected. So yeah, so that's what that
Yes.
is.
Yeah, so make sure y'all, we gonna say it at the end, but make sure you write it down and go and check it out, purchase it. Um, but also you've released Ultra Rise Beats and Cassis Flips. So what inspired these beat tapes? Were they experiments, meditations, challenges, celebrations, something else? Like,
Yeah, it's me forcing myself to put out something.
yeah, yes.
I had so much stuff, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm like, let me just put out this stuff, because it's like I create stuff, but then I'll just have it sitting, or I might play, or if anything, I'll play it in a beat set, but only those that are there at the shows, only they know, but like not the public. Like people can't just go and like just listen to it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a for Ultra Rise Beats. I wanted a mixture of like old stuff that, but also new stuff that I had created, and kind of just form it into a project. And it's kind of just me just forcing myself to put something out. And then Cassis Flips is all remixes from different artists and stuff like this. So I was like, yeah, I need to put out a remix tape. And I've been wanting to get just better at doing remixes. And I don't know why, I've always held myself back from doing it. I'm
Hmm.
like, because like I don't want it to be whack. So I'm just like, when I'm ready, I'm ready. So it's like I just started making remixes and flips and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, let me put this all into a project. I got more than enough to put something out for people to vibe to for remixes. So that's kind of what it was. I was just like, yeah, I just need to make some projects and put it out for people to vibe to. So that's what it was, just me forcing myself.
So, yeah, your work is so dope. Um, I wanna play Butters, but I'm like, should I play it now? I want to play it now. I just can't resist. When I heard this one, I was like, what is going on? This is so dope. So this is off of Ultra Rise Beats. And this is Vicky Casis Butters. And then we'll get back into the interview. Vibe with us for a second. Let's see. Oh, it's going to make me refresh it. Hold up.
Yeah. Also, there's visuals for these songs. You can check it on YouTube. I got
Yes.
Yeah, check it out. Same with Vacay. I got an animated video with me and Brooke. That's really cool. Yeah, you guys can check out on YouTube.
I was trying not to interrupt when I was playing Vacay, because the animated video I had never seen before, and I was like, "This is so dope!"
Oh, thank
Like that one scene where she's singing and y'all are on the beach in y'all bathing suits, and then you have your NPC. I was like, "Oh, this is crazy!"
you.
Yeah, it's super dope. So I second that. Hold up. What did you sample on this?
Can't tell you
What?
that.
Oh,
I can't tell you that. Can't tell you.
she can't tell us, y'all. Can you tell us the era?
Oh, definitely. That's the 70s.
Okay.
For sure. But yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna run it back. This is
I need you. We gonna rap on this though. You're supposed to do the Ultra Rise Beach challenge. I need you because I have a challenge.
I
I
didn't know that.
Yes, I told you about it, or I added you in the group chat. But yeah, before
Okay,
you
but
play it,
okay, so
I'll
wait,
tell
hold
you.
up.
I'll tell you.
Okay, wait. Before you say anything else, I am growing as a human being in a lot of ways. I used to try to be like, I would say one of my biggest flaws is like trying way too hard, right? And one of the things I used to try way too hard at is like being perfect or something, which never worked out. But one of the things that I'm realizing that I'm like, okay, I just have to embrace it first in order for me to overcome it. Text communications online, I don't know if it's just generational, if it's like I'm just like saturated, but like if anyone ever needs to get in touch with me, you email me. Because
Yeah,
if you call, text, DM, you don't know. I might be going through one of my phases where I'm like in my cancer rising, like away from the world moment,
yeah,
and I might not even be online for 8 months. So I had no idea. And sometimes I open up those group DMs that we have on
yeah,
Instagram, and
yeah.
I'm like, what's happening? Like, I don't know,
It's
is
like,
it
where am I?
ADHD? But I'm
How's
like,
this?
oh my God, there's so many messages, there's
No,
videos. What's
no,
happening?
no. There's a so I made a group chat and on Instagram, and I said I hand selected rappers.
What?
And I said, let's do an Ultra Rise Beach challenge where we have I sent everybody a link. Everyone goes, they listen through. This was before or right after the project dropped. And I said, choose whatever beach you want and you do a challenge. And you make a video and put it on Instagram, and then we can just collaborate.
Yes. What?
Um, so you should do better. That's what I'm saying.
I will do it. That's perfect. I would love that.
Yeah, you go
Um,
download whatever beat you was feeling. And then yeah, you make a video and you just freestyle.
Wait, how long ago was this? I'm like looking through
How
my
long
DMs.
was this? This is like September,
Oh Lord, have
October.
mercy. Okay, I'm gonna find it. It's somewhere in here. Child. Okay. All right. Yes, I will write a song and upload it. So basically,
Yeah,
play it,
16. I do.
record myself
Yeah.
rapping, and then
Yeah, yeah,
upload it.
yeah. Up to
Okay.
you. You can get creative with it. If you want, you can just do it like this simple, like you just, doing a 16 and just do a video. Or if you want to do actual video, you can. So some mix it up. Some did actual like video. Some just did like a video where it's like just a 16 and then they
What?
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
can't even
And then I
find. See,
reposted on my page. So you can see all the other ones on my page.
oh,
But
oh.
yeah, everyone's been having fun, killing it. So
Okay, hold up. So,
but I'll resend you everything. You don't have to like look up.
okay, Ultra Rise Beats Challenge. Oh Lord, have mercy. Okay, all right. I'm okay. I know how to find it now.
Put hashtag Authorized Beach Challenge, and then yeah, and then we
I'm
collaborate.
here. I'm in there. That's
Like a
all you
good
had to
cross
say.
collaboration, really, because it's like I'm putting my audience onto this artist, but then you're putting your audience onto like my beats. So it's kind of yeah, it's like a cross promotion.
And that's perfect too, because I picked Butters for the promo for this interview. So now
Now you got no
you
choice.
no, but I was like, who is on this beat? Because this beat is dope. Okay, so we ran it back. This is
You
Butters.
have to be on this beat.
Of course, by Vicky Casis. You know, I'll soon to be dropping a little one,
You
two, you feel me, a little verse on it. But okay,
know,
let's run it back from the top.
little sprinkle.
is amazing. Okay, I'm juiced. So listen, let's talk about sound for film. You
Mhm.
contributed music to major documentary projects like Contact High and Ease Black Pop. What does, scoring for film activate in your creativity, and how does it differ from producing for artists or just for yourself?
Yeah, it's very fun. It's it's different from producing with artists because of the scheduling, like the timing, and then also like usually the what is the music supervisor or the producer, they're telling us like depending on the project. Like for instance, like Black Pop. Black Pop, it's a documentary. Well, not documentary, but it's a special about just Black culture. So from sports to music and fashion and television. So and it's in like four parts. So
Yeah.
with that, when you're talking like for instance, like for the TV one, there's different eras. So you're gonna be talking about the Cosby Show, and then you're gonna be talking about living color, living single. You're gonna be talking about uh Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You're gonna all
Yes.
different, eras. So it's fun because it's like these are all of my shows that I like grew up on. But then you gotta like match what the sonically what that is. So whatever the vibe was for like the Cosbys, they're gonna say, oh, like for the theme song, we want you to make something similar to that. So can't do the same or you'll get sued, but something similar on that vibe. And even when you go back, even good times, like talk about good times, so around.
Yes. My show,
Right.
girl.
Right. So even like, okay, how the sound and all that was around that time, you have to make stuff that's like similar to that. So it's really, really cool. It's very collaborative. You're communicating with different departments. And of course the goal is, to create the special and make sure it's right. But it can be it's all about the deadlines. So you gotta do everything in the deadline. It's like the most important thing. So it's like, okay, we need all of this, we need this at this certain time. Can you like submit it in? So it's very I wouldn't say restricted, but it's like you just have to be on point and really do what's told of you. You know what I mean? And make sure you do it right. I think with creating like for myself or with artists, it's more open, I would say. It's more like on an open vibe because it's kind of like, okay, what are we doing with this and that? And yes, for projects there are deadlines and stuff like that, but it's still more open where like in film and television, it's more like, okay, we got this deadline, we gotta do this and this, and you gotta make a lot of stuff. Um, but also like the length of the songs is real short. So it might be like for like 15 seconds we need a filler. Like put something in that sounds like girlfriends because we're talking about girlfriends.
Oh my
And
God.
then make something in that type of vibe. Or if you have it already, then you just, you send it in. So yeah, it's a very big like collaborative matter, but it's fun. It's kind of keeps you on your toes because it's like now you're making stuff that really fit for visually what we're looking at. Um, and you get to experiment because even like if you need something airy or something mysterious or something like that, now you're going into moods and feelings more so and trying
Yeah.
to like match that sonically. So it's yeah, you're kind of tapping into what you already do already, but you're really like diving in trying to find something that matches that scene or whatever like that. So it's really cool. It's fun. I like
That's
to
so
create music for
dope.
like different mediums. So like the only thing I haven't done yet is video games. I really want to do video games and commercials. I haven't really done too many. Yeah, I haven't done like commercials like that. So, but definitely video games. Oh my God. I would love to do that.
Okay.
Fun. Yeah, make some.
Let's manifest it for 2026. Like,
Mhm. Yeah,
let's
no,
get it.
definitely. But no, me and my brother, because we have a production company called Mach 7 Music as well. And we got signed by Issa Rae's sync licensing company called Radio.
That's dope.
So we're in the process of making
Can
stuff.
I get a shoulder bop or something? Like, yes.
Yeah, so
Just a little celebration. Hit it. Go.
yeah.
Get it.
So yeah, no, so we're working, you know what I mean? We're working and just trying to put our music in as many outlets, as many mediums as possible. Like music goes hand in hand with anything. It goes hand in hand with fashion, anything. Music is everywhere. So it's just like if I create music already, I'm like, why not put it for other stuff as well? Not just for with just my stuff or with artists, but anywhere. Like why not? So yeah.
That's dope. Um, can we talk a little bit about DJing and, from the WNBA to Broadway? So, because you've DJed some huge cultural moments, um, WNBA championships, the Panamanian Day Parade, um, and if I'm reading this correctly, even Broadway's the collaboration.
Yep.
So what does it feel like to soundtrack a moment like that on such a big stage, and to move whole crowds with your selections?
Oh, it's lovely. It's like
Yes.
so fun. It's like so much fun because it's like I that's it's funny. I didn't want to DJ, but it's my brother once again. He was like he's been saying it for years. He's like, why don't you DJ? You just DJ. You kind of doing it already. You might as well just do it. Because even
Right.
in high school, before DJing, I was a disc jockey at my in college at 90.3 WKRB. So I had my own radio show, and it was me and my friend Anthony. We had a thing called Black Noise. So we would interview independent artists, but also I would be in charge of like the music. So I would play at that time. I was playing all the underground, like just stuff that you wouldn't hear on the radio. So
Yes.
at that time, you're hearing Big Sean and Wale and Cudi and you know, all types of artists like Big Crit, Wiz at that time. You know, like this is like the blog era. I played
Yes.
all that stuff for college radio, and I had a blast. But I didn't even realize until I did an interview like a year or two back. I was like, I kind of was DJing already. I just
Not
like
kind of. You
I
were
really do. I
already
just wasn't
DJing.
physically like, on the controller like DJing, but I was putting songs together and like putting it. I'm like, I didn't even realize it until I was like, wow, I really was DJing already. But as far as DJing, how long I've when are we? We're in 2025. I've been DJing for probably like 6 or 7 years now. And it's yeah, I just practice. Like I didn't go to like a DJ class or anything like that. I just went on YouTube. I brought a controller, um, and I went on YouTube and looked at tutorials for like I don't even look at tutorials like that, but I like for a little technical stuff that I don't understand, and I'll just jump on. But usually I'll just go and like figure it out, and then if I get stuck, then I'll go and look at a tutorial. Um, and yeah, I just practice. That's it. Like I just really practice, and then once I got
Yes.
understanding of it, then when it comes to discovering music, I already love doing that. So I look everywhere, trying to find cool stuff. And then yeah, then it was time to actually start doing DJ sets and like start doing shows and stuff like that and events. And the big practice came from actually putting on these QSTV events. That was where the practice,
Yes.
because I would go and when we were at Quantum, which is where we started QSTV at, which is a club in Gowanus that our friend owned, he already had like the pioneers and stuff like that. So that was just and this was during the pandemic. So it was the perfect place to practice. I'm like, I can just practice here. And that's what I did. I would just practice and then and discover and do stuff like that. So then once it was time to like do shows, then I kind of got comfortable with it, like doing stuff in front of people. And then once I started doing, more gigs and stuff like that, then I'm like, well, I want to do like different type of stuff. Like, cause I'm like DJing will take you anywhere. That's
Yes.
DJing. Like you can just be the sound selector for any crowd anywhere. And that could be from you could be on an island somewhere or you can be anywhere. Like I love the fact that you can just go anywhere and just be a sound selector. So um how I got into the Panamanian parade, um how did I get into the Panamanian parade? It was a friend of mine. Yeah. She was running it. And she realized, I guess Also too, I would put up DJ sets too. So I would put it up online and stuff like that so people can listen. But she was like, "Hey, you want a DJ for the Panamanian Day Parade? Because I'm Panamanian." So I was like, "Of course." Why not? Um,
Yes.
I went and I did that, and that was fun. And then for the WNBA, actually my brother, he was playing inside. He was doing the national anthem, and they were in search of like a DJ to spin outside for the championship. So like when people are coming in, they wanted like high energy because it's a championship, and this is
Yes.
the Connecticut Suns and the Las Vegas Aces. And so yeah, I did that and that was fun. And then the collaboration came about. So the collaboration was a Broadway show that was like 2 years back. And it's about Basquiat and Andy Warhol and their collaborations. You know that famous photo with them with the gloves, and so they had kind of like a small little like gallery type of collaboration thing at that time. This was like in 87, I want to say 86, 87. So they did a play based off of that, of their collaboration, two different worlds meeting and like, you know, they're discovering their differences and the stuff that they go through and trying to figure out how they're going to form this gallery of their artwork coming from two different worlds. Um, and that starred Jeremy Pope, who played Basquiat, amazing actor. Um,
Whoa,
God,
that's dope.
yeah, no, the collaboration was really good. Like seeing them pour their heart out every night was like crazy. But how that got started, my good friend Theoretic, which I don't know if you met Theoretic yet, but Theoretic is amazing DJ.
Hmm.
She does like the house dance like deep house. She go like with techno, all different like types of genres. And she's amazing. Like I learned a lot from her. So I think how she got found, show producer somehow found an old DJ mix of hers from
Mm.
like a couple years back, like way back. Somehow he came across it and was like, he found her, reached out to her and was like, "Hey, would you want to DJ for the collaboration?" So Kwame, who's the director of the whole thing, his idea was to have it, and this has never been done before, to have a DJ on the stage, like towards the side, like stage right, DJ while the attendees come in. So while they come in,
Hmm.
he wanted it to be an 80s party because this was in the 80s
Yes.
time. So he wanted that vibe. So the booth itself had like the graffiti, and then the set design was like like on the streets, like New York streets at that time.
What?
It was yeah, really I was like he's like a visionary. That was really cool for him to do that. So when they would come in and also during the intermission, you would hear all this 80s music. So that's where we came in, we were DJing. But remember, Theoretic was doing it, but they said that because this is Broadway, she needs an understudy. Well, she needed two understudies. So she reached out to me and she reached out to uh uh Naima or DJ Nia and to be her understudy basically. So I had like a couple of days, a couple of nights, and then Nia had a couple of nights, and Theoretic had a couple of nights. So basically, the days that Theoretic couldn't do it, then it was either me or Nia doing it. And it was so cool. I'm like, this has never happened before. We have a DJ on Broadway, like
Yeah.
DJing while people come in, and it was unexpected for the attendees because they're thinking, when you go to Broadway, it's quiet, it's
Yep.
music, and you come in, you sit, and then you wait for the lights to come down, and then the show starts. That's not how this was. Like they wanted a party, so I'm spinning, Michael and Prince and all this different Madonna and LL and like
Wow.
it was a variety. So you had like the pop, you had the hip hop, you had, all different rock, everything all in one that we were doing. So that was one of the biggest, I would say on the DJing side, that's like the probably the biggest highlight for me was to DJ on Broadway. I'm like, that's never been done. And I think even after there still hasn't been DJs. And Kwame, he made it important. He was like, we want women DJs and a woman of
Yes.
color. That was very important to him. And he's a black director, and he made it known. He was like, we need women of color like DJing. Like that was his thing. That's what he wanted. So I was like, that's crazy. So yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it was crazy, but I had a blast. Like if the show is not on Broadway anymore, but I think it was around on Broadway for like a year. But prior to that, it was on for a couple of years in London.
Hmm.
Yeah, they had it in London a couple of years back, and then they brought it to Broadway, and it was around for like a year. But it was an amazing experience, and I'm like, I would do it again. I'm like, you call me, I'm there. So yeah. Hmm.
Incredible. Girl. Yeah, like when I was reading through your bio, I was so juiced about it, just like learning all the things that you're doing and kind of trying to figure out like how is this woman doing all that? And I find that a lot of the time when I'm interviewing women in hip hop for this podcast, or even when I'm researching the different women, I'm reading about them in the book that we're currently reading on a monthly basis, God Save the Queens by Kathy Yandeli. I'm always like, how? How did she do all this? Because like you're not just spending your days DJing and making beats and, scoring film and TV, you're also a mother, you also produce events with Quality Sounds TV, with QSTV, right? And then of course you're a human being, a Black woman navigating the world in now 2025. So it's like there's so many different other aspects. You're a friend, I'm sure, you're a family member to many different people. So I'm just curious, like, because how long has your journey spanned? You said you started playing drums at 5. Like, what is the timeline on that? I think a lot of the times people, you know how like somebody sees like Doechii, or even people who are not a part of the culture might see Missy Elliott or might see Lizzo or these different women, and they'll be like, oh, they blew up overnight. And it's like most of us have been doing it since we were children and figuring out how to continue to pursue no matter what big L's that we've taken, no matter what like limitations or obstacles, whether it be financial or going through different periods in our life where there are like lots of big challenges, juggling multiple jobs, relationships that are challenging, like all different types of things. So share a little bit about what has allowed you to continue to, I don't want to say pursue a career, because part of why we created the royal we, part of why I created the Women in Hip Hop Wednesdays podcast is because mainstream media will have you think that hip hop is only what the white media or record execs or pop culture kind of picks out and spotlights and holds up to be this is hip hop or whatever. But the thing about hip hop culture and culture in general is that artists are living and continuing to produce these bodies of work. And it's like, oftentimes we don't hear about people until that one moment where they get the Grammy or where their music gets placed in a show that's really popular, like Insecure, or a movie like Black Panther. Then suddenly people are like, oh, where did this artist or this group come from, or this DJ, right? But the truth is that we create through the ups and downs of life, whether or not it's making us money, a lot of us, right? And continue to build relationships and navigate all this through time. And I think it's just important for people to understand that about the culture, that it's living and breathing, and that it's more than how it's portrayed, I guess,
Yeah.
So how have you continued knowing that there's like this artist suppression where people are kind of like, oh, that's so good that you're doing that creative thing. They don't necessarily relate to it as an essential piece of labor and contribution to the culture that enriches our lives and colors our world and gets people through depressions and breakups and divorces and um, losses and all that stuff, as well as wins and glow ups and motivates people to overcome challenges. How have you continued to create and just tell us about the different roles that you play when you're not on the screen or when we don't see you at a show or when we don't see you posting footage or adult pic on Instagram or we don't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It's the village. It takes a village. You know how they say it takes a village? Because
yeah.
I just have the supportive family and friends. I think they like motivate me to keep on going. Even like putting on these events and stuff like that. Like when I see other producers and DJs do their thing, it motivates me to keep on going because I'm like, man, that was amazing. Like that, I gotta keep it going. Like I gotta keep because that was like I was really inspired by that. But then even like if you don't see me, a lot of people think that I just do music, and no, I don't just do music. I have an actual job, and I have a daughter, and bills have to be paid. Um, so it's like when I'm not doing one thing, I'm doing something else, if that makes sense. And I'm used to
Yeah.
myself busy anyways. So if I'm not creating, then I'm putting on events and forming community with my brother. And we have QSTV, where we showcase independent artists, producers, DJs from all over. And we've taken it to London. That's how far we've gone with this thing. And we're going to go even further with it. So yeah, we go all over and we showcase, so we do that. Um, there's no backing, like it's just us.
Yeah.
You
I
know
understand.
what I mean? Yeah, it's just us.
Yeah, girl.
It's just a team. It's just me, my brother, and the QSTV squad, and we go and yeah, we showcase, artists and just creatives in general, and it's a fulfilling thing for me. Like I just really just love to do that. Like I love to create community and showcase that like artists because there's so much talent out there, but it's like not the general public may not know about it. So it's just like what the idea was is to have these different events, but do it in different places where you wouldn't normally see it. So
Mhm.
we've done it in partnership with Soul House, all the houses in New York, and we've done it in London. Just like you wouldn't see a beat set at Soul House like prior to us. It's just like, where do you like what is this? So we've done it with that. We've done it with Hard Rock. We've done it with Pirate Studios, where each room there's something different going on. So you got one room for the producers and they're doing live beat sets, but then you go next door to the other room and there's like a jam session with different musicians jumping in doing their thing. And you got another room with DJs just jumping in doing their thing. So we like to do it in different places and showcase acts. And we have a like a residency with Filthy Diamond. Shout out to Aaron at Filthy Diamond, black owned
Mhm.
woman bar in Bushwick, and yeah, we showcase talent there. We have the ladies link up as well, where we showcase women producers of from all over, and they come and they do their beat sets and they go crazy. Um,
Yeah.
so I do that. But then also, yes, I'm a mom. So I have my two and a half now year old daughter, Valentina Rose. And she's amazing. She's like a sponge. So she's soaking up everything and seeing like she's very aware. Like she's looking at everything. She's like, oh, what's mommy doing here? What's daddy doing?
Mhm.
Like just discovering stuff. And she's a music head too. Like yeah. And then even like she'll mess with my brother's guitar and be playing. She's like, she'll pick up the pick and like strum it. I'm like, how do you already know how to do all this stuff? It's crazy. So she's watching. So it's like, my goal is just to be a positive role model for her and show her like whatever you want to do, you can do it. And even if it might not be something where the general public like they might look at it like, oh, that's not an actual job. Like you being the producer, that's not an actual thing. No, it is. It's a very important job. And if it's something you believe in, whatever it is you want to do, if you want to do it, you can do it. But I would also say just to have make sure you have something to fall back on, or just have something supporting whatever the dream is, because as an artist, you can be up top and making money, and that can be gone. Like, or you can have something that's steady at the moment, but then once that's done, then it's just like, okay, what are we doing? You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and you need healthcare, you got to pay the bills, you got to do that. So for me, yes, I do music, and I do stuff for the community and stuff like that, for the music community. But I also have a job, and that's supporting what I do until I'm able to get what I deserve. In the meantime, yes, I have a full-time job
So
working.
you
Yes, I work also. Yes,
so
I
you would, or rather, it is a goal you are going to eventually do music full time.
1000%. This is going to be,
Yes.
yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to be like 90 years old having a steady job and doing music. No, we're not doing
Yes. But
that.
you will be 90 years old still
Yeah.
making beats and
Oh,
DJing.
you know it. You know
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Just in the meantime, with the economy and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong, because I work in aviation. I love it. I think it's great. It's a lot of work, and it's time consuming, it's long hours and stuff like that, but it's great. It's something I found an interest in, because prior to even getting into aviation, I was doing retail, and I was like, this is not it. I'm like, if I'm going to do something, at least it needs to be something more meaningful,
Yeah.
something that something that I'm learning. You know what I mean? Something
Yes.
that I could possibly grow in. So I love it. It's not like I don't. Um, but my true calling and passion, of course, is doing music and doing anything within that realm. And yeah, just happen to do aviation too. So I got a balance right now. Um, but yeah, I just want to be a positive role model to my daughter, and just show her that she can do whatever she wants to do, she can do it. And just know that she has support from me, Papa, Gigi, Grandma,
Yes. Yes.
Marky, Auntie Bree, like all the aunties, uncle, everybody supports her and whatever she wants to do. So, but she just needs to know whatever she wants to do. She just got to work hard for it. And I think even though she's so young, she sees that, like, we're working hard and we're working towards something. She sees it. I know she sees it because she's very aware, and she's very in tune. Even though she's only 2.5, like, she's a smart kid. So, yeah. So I think even bringing her to shows and events and seeing how we operate and how we do stuff is very important, because that's how I was brought up. I was brought up seeing my brother in clubs and at venues and different places performing. He's like 14. I'm like 8, and I'm watching him and seeing how he does stuff. And my mom, she managed him as a kid. So she would bring us, and yeah, we would see how everything is operating. So I think still having that, it's funny seeing that I'm doing that with my daughter, and
Right.
different stuff, and seeing her kind of soak up how we work and how we do stuff, and just know, like, yeah, we're not just sitting here, we're like, we actually working. So
Right.
yeah, so I think that's really, really important. So yeah, just showing her that she can do whatever she wants. Just work hard. That's it.
I'm so excited for you, and I'm so excited that you have a strategy. Being an artist under capitalism sometimes means that you work an additional job, but I love to hear that it's not, I don't know, I've never said the thing means to an end, that it's not like the end all be all, that it's just a piece of your strategy, because something we talk about a lot on the Women in Hip Hop Wednesdays podcast is the price of our genius. And it's just really about being a Black woman in the culture and within the music industry, and the economic, emotional and cultural labor that we carry while creating legacy. Like, for example, the ladies producer showcase, different QSTV showcases. Like, I, for many years back in the Bay Area, used to do, event production. Back then, we weren't like, we're doing event production and promotion. It's just like, okay, everyone I know is creative and they're brilliant, and they need a platform. So as soon as I learned how to mix, as soon as I learned how, got my hands on a computer or whatever, now we're making a mixtape now. It's a mixtape release party. Um, but it's deep. Now I was just chopping it up with the homie from back in Oakland, and I was like, um, yo, I have footage of the Real Nerds mixtape release party from Lucas Tap Lounge in Oakland in like '09, right? And I haven't even cracked open these digital video cassettes yet. And I'm just like, there's even people who performed hip hop, Bay Area and Sacramento hip hop, to me, legends from the underground that are no longer with us, and there's footage of them performing,
Gotta make
you
a
know?
doc. Gotta
And
make
it
a doc.
absolutely we gonna make a doc, right? I already know what I want to call it, but I was just thanking my young self, like, and I remember I'm curious about this for you, but I know for me as a woman, it was a little bit different on the Bay Area scene where like I noticed my male friends, my play brothers and friends and counterparts, they they had they more had like bartering relationships where they like people believed in what they were doing and they could be like, yo, will you come, will you come film this or will you come shoot this, photograph this event, come DJ this. And then of course it was the same thing. Oh, well, will you come through and spit, perform at my show or this, that, and the third. But I noticed a lot of times with the women, those same brothers that were bartering would be like, oh, it's gonna cost you this much. Like, and it it was it was really disheartening for me. And I wish honestly I had like taken it to therapy or something like that because I stopped producing events, even though that's like one of my kind of like natural gifts is to gather people because I love gathering people and I love people getting their flowers and like getting the shine. Because I
Yeah.
feel like we all came, whether you're working retail, whether you're staying at home, doing all the domestic labor and your job is to take care of your children and make sure that your household and your spouse's family runs well, whether you're driving the bus or you're teaching, whatever you're doing, I feel like everyone has a deeper purpose, like a spiritual purpose for being on earth. And I feel like there's something beautiful when people get their flowers, when they get acknowledged for the contributions and kind of like the fingerprints and the footprint that they're making on the universe, that they're making on the planet, that they're making on all the relationships. And to be able to document that, back then I even knew it was important, but it was hard because it's like as a 20 or young 20 something, I don't know, I was 22 maybe, like I didn't have no bread, So it would be like begging people, like, come on, invest. Whereas I would see they would be more ready to invest in the men, but extract from the women. Even and so I don't think that that's the case all the time, depending on your relationships. I had a lot of brothers and brothers that were, would show up, would help with this, that, and the third. But I'm saying this all to say, I was just thanking that young part of me that I knew how important we were back then because now I even am like, I didn't realize what was happening culturally, that there was like a Bay Area hip hop renaissance happening back then on the underground scene. I just knew in my spirit, like, I want to document this. And now it's like, oh my God, it's been almost 20 years now, and we have this footage of so many incredible artists. But um, putting it back to you, you've done so much of this labor that, like you said, it's not like the cover for the night is gonna even get y'all to break even. So like, why is it that you do this? Why are you so invested in creating these spaces? And um, what would what would it look like for Black women producers, DJs, and event curators to be fully respected, credited, paid, and celebrated in the ways that we deserve? Like, what would that world look like? Because we have to begin imagining it and reimagining it now in order for people to see. Do you know what I'm saying? To begin being like, how can we create that? Like, how do we create an ecosystem where all the events that you do, that QSTV does, y'all not only break even, but make a profit so that you could be doing this plus the DJing plus the beat production full time because it's a gift to us. People act like it's a gift to an artist to pay them for their labor, but it's like, if what about Basquiat? What about Da Vinci? What about Georgia O'Keeffe? What about Lauryn Hill? What about Missy Elliott? Like, what about all of these like writers and creators? Like, what about even Beyonce? Like, we have to pay people for these beautiful, inspiring pieces of art, but also like community, moments and settings that they create for us. Anyway, that's like very long-winded, but talk to us about what would that look like so people can start wrapping their mind around what we really need to be investing.
No, absolutely. I would say, well, I do this because it just needs to be done. Like, there's different collectives out there, and there should be even more. This is just to celebrate just creatives in general, just having that. I think I wouldn't say, yeah, New York kind of lost it where it's like as far as the scenes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the different vibes. Like you can go into this space and like that's like the punk rock scene. If you wanted to discover some punk rock and you wanted to hear all that, that's that vibe over there. You got the cool kids. You got now, with the producers, you got the fashion. Like it's there, but it's not like how it used to be. So I kind of wanted to create that where it's just like, okay, this is the creative scene, but it's open for everybody. It's not just producers, but it's for all creatives. If you're a dancer, a painter, an artist, there should be a space for that. You know what I mean? And within that space comes collaboration, comes ideas, comes different things, just like how you had the Harlem Renaissance or even like the Black Panther Party, where they would just bounce off ideas and come up with stuff. It's that same type of gathering, but it's more for like celebration of music and just creativity in general. So I'm like, yes, I don't get paid for it, but I'm gonna keep doing it because this is special. This is
Mm,
something that's like it's just special. You know what I mean? It has to be there. That space, that gathering of community and people meeting other people and what stems from that. There's been tons of times where like artists they've met at the link up and then now they got projects together, you know what I mean? Or you got lifelong friends, you got all different types of relationships,
mm.
stuff like that from that. Um so I just keep doing it because it really it fulfills me. Like it just makes me feel great just knowing that this is something that we're doing you know for the creative community. And then as far as that ecosystem and what the ideal construct looks like as far as for show producers and performers getting paid, sponsorship is everything. And I
Yeah.
think brands and people really tapping in to what we're doing would be very important, I would say, because I think when it comes to them sharing the wealth with maybe performers and stuff, they like to use big names to like showcase whatever brand or whatever new thing they have. But I'm like, you guys are missing
Yes.
a lot of talent out there that can like bring a lot even more crazy energy. So I think if funding can come from, I would say different known brands and stuff like that, people that have the money to do that, I think that would be great. But also I realized when going to London that London they have a system where it's like their government, they support the arts. They fund the arts. They have like they're heavy on it. Like if you wanted to have a I don't know, a space just for creatives or collectives or whatever like that to kind of like create projects and stuff like that, they'll fund it. So I would
Hmm.
say we need to start having where the government or like the local government can help fund
Yes.
creativity. I think that would be
Mom
very
Donnie, you hear that?
yeah, come on now. Yeah, like I think that would be great. Like if there's something where even for me to be like a just a contractor for like a brand where it's just like I'm bringing these different events to your company or whatever like that, and it's kind of like a cross awareness type of thing where it's just like you're showcasing acts but then also we're promoting like the brand, something like that on the brand side. but definitely like the local government and even federal, if for them to help fund, I think,
Yes.
or in the fund these different events and stuff would be important. That's how I can like continue and actually get paid for doing, what I do. And then also just it can just help support just the creative community on a grand level, I think, with just funding. And then even, yeah, like in London they have where the government, they fund projects, they fund what all types of stuff. They have all types of stuff over there. I think they're really heavy on the creative side over there. And I think we need that type of you know platform, I would say here. I'd say that construct, we need that here. So I think if we can do that, then that'd be good. You know what I mean? And I think if other brands, and you got like, whatever, like Adidas and Nike and Ray-Ban, whatever. I think those companies that have the money to fund it, where they got extra funds, they're like, oh, let's put this towards something else. Like put it towards these type of events, because I'm telling you, it's gonna help. It's really gonna help. So we're working on it though. I mean, where with me, I love to research and find who's the people that can
Yes.
like, I'm the go-to for that. So that's kind of like my thing. So I'm always on the hunt trying to see how, we can get this stuff pushed to a higher, even a more higher level. Um, we want to do festivals, we want to do sponsored tours, and also do like educational stuff where we go to like, schools, and show what we do, and also, what we do with music, and, how we can go forward and stuff like that with what we do. So yeah, we're trying to just expand as much as we can, so
Yeah. You are expanding. Um, so it's the year 2030. You're you're a full-time musician. You've scaled your music career and QSTV to seven figures. Y'all are, breaking a million and continuing to scale. You break even and make a profit and are able to pay yourselves well, pay everyone who's supporting, doing the back end admin, pay the artists who come and feature and collaborate really well. And there's a young Black girl from Brooklyn trying to figure out, should I keep pursuing this? How do I get started? I want to make beats, but I feel like it feels like rocket science. What do you, and she stumbles upon this interview of you, and she's like, oh my God, I saw this old school Vicky Casis interview with Coco Peila before they both blew up. And they were talking about splits and they were talking about woman. What do you want her? Doesn't matter whether she's 10, 15, 20, 37, 55. What do you want to tell her? What do you want her to know about the craft, about the journey, about the discipline, about the joy? Like, what advice do you want to pass on to her?
yeah, just that there's going to be ups and downs. There's no easy journey. There just is not. I'm sorry to say it, but there isn't. But do not be hard on yourself, because I still struggle with that. I'm very hard on myself. I'm like, I need to do this, I need to do this. So try to not be super hard on yourself. I would say research, do a lot of research. I mean, the with the internet, of course, it's the dark side to the internet, but the upside is everything is here. Whoever you need to contact to make whatever happen. You are a show producer and you want to make things happen, but and you want to connect with people to help push that, start researching, and LinkedIn is your best friend. Um to find, how, okay, how can we do this? But then also I would say write down your ideas, your thoughts, your
Mm,
plans. I think that's very important. Have like goals, of course. Always have goals. And even when you do succeed those goals, you gotta make some new goals. It keeps going. It's not
yes.
staying steady. We don't stay steady here. We excel. That's it. It's nothing less. So it's just once you reach that goal, then it's like, okay, what's next? What are we doing? I would say think outside the box. Think,
Yes.
don't try to follow what anybody else is doing. Like stay in your own lane, I would say. I always try to stay like not try to, I do. I just stay in my own lane and just think, okay, what is gonna benefit me? Like what's gonna work for me? Like think about yourself. Don't block out whatever everybody else got going on. Um, I would say also try to reach out to people that are doing the things that you want to do. Try to see if you can reach out to to those people that have done it already. Listen to your elders. Listen to people that have done it already,
Yes.
gone through it. Listen. That's the most important thing. Just listen. Like, don't think you know it all and all that. Or even if you do get success and think, I don't need anybody and that's that. No, you need to listen to people that came before you. And
Mm,
for me, I wish I would have did what I did, what I'm doing now as far as having a collective. I wish I would have did it earlier. That's one thing I'm like, I'm glad actually, I'm glad it's happening now with everything, but I think I would have been further if I would have started earlier.
yeah.
Think so as far as like the whole QSTV, but we didn't know like it took the pandemic for us to realize like, oh, we should do this, like, but I think if I was like 16, like when I started producing, or like early 20s or whatever like that, and started this, I think it would have been crazy. So I think for the young, for the youth out there, try to find like-minded people, people that want to elevate, that want to do creative things, to think outside the box and kind of do stuff. Find those people, be close to those people, but also be around people that are in different fields also.
Yes.
It's creatives. You need a tech person. You need those people that are really good in business. You need those people that are really good in finance. And I'm not saying like just use them and that's it. No, like these people are cool. Like
Yes.
people think, oh yeah, just creatives are like the cool people. Like, nah, people in business, those people are cool too, but they know a lot, and they know a lot that you might not know. So I would say ask questions and be around those people and kind of soak up, um, you know, what they got going on. So I would say, yeah, yeah, people in like finance and tech, business, different fields. I say be in those rooms. I think that's really important because then you're just learning more and learning other ways to elevate what you want to do. You know what I mean? So be around all different types of people, but also your like-minded people, people that want to elevate, you know, creatively. So yeah.
Oh man, yes. So listen, um, before we wrap, I want to make sure that we give a big shout out to your daughter,
Baby,
Valentina
baby,
Rose.
baby. I wish, yeah, see, she's with Dada right now, but they're out. But if she was here, I would have had her come on and talk. You could have interviewed her,
We'll get her on in
That's your part.
2026. Yes, but I'm about to play after this final question, I'm gonna play the song that you have on Ultra Rise Beats featuring her. But big shout out to Valentina Rose, to QSTV, Quality Sounds TV, and to your projects, Ultra Rise Beats and Cassis Flips. The final question that I have for you before we wrap, Vicky, how can folks support your work right now? Where can they find you and what do you want them to do?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. It's underscore CASIS underscore. If you want to support my music and purchase, you can go to my Bandcamp, Vicky Casis. Yeah, all my works are there. Also, if you want to go on my website to find out more information about me, bookings or whatever like that, just go to www.vickycasis.com. Everything is there, from like all my music, DJ sets, contact, photos, bio, all that good stuff. And yeah, come out to a QSTV event. You can also follow QSTV. It's at official QSTV to stay up to date on events and different stuff that we got going on. We do have an event happening on Friday. That's going to be at Filthy Diamond in Bushwick. It's going to be the Beats of Cinema event, where we got producers choosing of their choice any film that they like. It's like they choose like whatever film, and then they do a live beat set with the film on silent, of course, so you can hear the beats. And it's like 20-minute sets. So I'll be doing the beat set, and other producers are going to be doing dope beat sets. We might have some popcorn too, you know.
Oh,
My homie Chromatic Black, he's going to be selling his oils, which shout out to Chromatic Black. He's his government name is Elias Williams. He's like a celebrity photographer, and he's shot for New York Times and all these different outlets. But he has some oils, and they smell phenomenal. So next time
what?
you come to a QSTV event, Elias will probably be there, and then I'll definitely connect you guys because the oils, but
I need
also
the oils in my life.
yeah, so good. But also his photography is immaculate. He actually had what he does is he shoots everyone, but he has a thing where he shoots like producers, and his work was actually put in it was put in the New York Times, and I'm featured in it actually. You'll see.
Yes.
And it's like the beat community. So it's like he has Jay Dilla's mom, he has me, he has Zars, he has all types of dope producers in there that he shot, and his eye is just immaculate. It's amazing.
Mm.
So shout out to him. Yeah, he'll be having his oils. And yeah, that's Beats of Cinema. And then we're gonna be having another event in January. So there's a lot of events coming. So just follow us on the QSTV page and stay up to date on that. And yeah, I would say yeah, check out Authorized Beats, Cass's Flips, Cass's World. And yeah, just follow me, stay up to date with me, and I'm around. Reach out and touch. Yeah. Yeah, I'm here.
No, yes. Well, thank you so much for dropping in with us.
Oh, thank you for having this platform. This platform is needed. Okay, this platform, like, we need more of this because, like you said, there's going to be a little girl out there that's going to be looking for inspiration and trying to find, platforms that have us,
Right.
um, and just wanting to be inspired. And you having this, it means the world. So thank you for doing it.
Oh,
Thank you.
you know what?
Don't you
I
cry. Don't you cry.
I,
You better not cry.
I already got my little thug tears right down here, okay? But no, no, I appreciate you, and I feel like, you know how you kind of something is so important, you think there's got to be somebody else out there doing that. Like,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
that's what happened. I'm like, to me, I know for me, it's like women in hip hop it's my world. Obsessed. I'm obsessed with hip hop culture in general. I cry when I watch hip hop documentaries or like old school videos and stuff. Like, I don't know why it touches me so much, but like it's my world, right? So to me, I think, well, it's got to be as significant to everybody else. So really how Women in Hip Hop Wednesdays came about is like I was just hungry for more. I had finished God Save the Queens, The Essential History of Women in Hip Hop by Kathy Yandeli. I had watched every single documentary, movie, whatever, and I was just like, okay, it's got to be a podcast because you got like Champs, you have The Breakfast Club, you have like Angie Martinez, different podcasts. Now she has IRL. You have like all these different podcasts and YouTube shows, hip hop, hip. But I was like, okay, it's got to be one that's just focused on women in hip hop. And there was one that was on for a long time, but then no longer exists. And that's it.
That's it.
That's it. And I was like, what? And it's not like I felt even honestly like it was my place. Not that it's not my place, it is. I'm like, I'm almost 40 now. Like I've been in this since I was a teenager. I've been writing raps and songs since I was young. So, okay, it just kind of came to me like that. Like, no one else is doing this. This needs to happen, And I'll just say this to close. I feel like that's why the work that you do is so important. I always like to interview women in hip hop who have not just a public persona and are dope at what they do, but also are deeply rooted in culture and community because for the most part, that is actually the truth of what it is to be a woman in hip hop. And that is the connective tissue. That is what people don't understand when we go back to the first documented hip hop jam at 1520 Sedgwick Ave in the Bronx, right? It was a young Black girl, right? But we don't hear Cindy Campbell being credited except for like really nerdy scholars or like, in certain texts, but it's also still rare and we often hear the brothers get credited. But the thing is that, especially just the history of Black women in the world, and we didn't even get to talk about your Panamanian heritage and how that influences your music. Oh Lord, we're gonna have to do a part two. But just saying that like without women and girls, there would be no hip hop. There would be no hip hop. There would be no platform for the DJ to spin on. You know what I'm saying? Like there would be no record deal for the MC to get and then be blown up into mainstream media. Like there would be no, and even just the voices. Like the last thing I'll say, girl, last week we were reading chapter 4 of God Save the Queens, and it was about Roxanne Shante. And Roxanne Shante credits this woman named Shirley Ellis. Do you know who she is?
No.
So she had this song that blew up in 1965, 64, 65. She and the composer, Lincoln Chase. So he wrote the music, she wrote the lyrics and the vocal melody, and it's called The Name Game, which is a game that we used to play, that we've been playing in Black communities for a long time, but she made it into a song and it blew up into like a pop hit. But she's rhyming. She basically like rhymes, and there's a formula to how to rhyme your name. And Roxanne Shante says that she watched Shirley Ellis in the 60s do the name game, and that's part of what influenced her rap style, which she's like the illest. She's so iconic because not only can she rap, not only is she like genius and like strategic as fuck when it comes to marketing and all that stuff, and she doesn't back down. She's never backed down. But like so many of her records, especially her early ones when she was a young girl, she was freestyling the entire record. So
yeah.
When we think about like this lineage, like you said, it's hip hop, but it touches other genres. Like we don't see these different women credited. It's like people talk about James Brown being a great grandfather or a grandfather of hip hop, with how he used to sing and talk and signify, but you never hear Shirley Ellis's name. So it's like this is why this is so important to me, even though sometimes I'm like, should I be doing this? But I'm like, well, ain't nobody else doing it, so fuck it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But this is why this platform is needed.
And this is why we need to pull up to Filthy Diamond on Friday in Bushwick. This is why we need to go to Vicky Casis' Bandcamp. Don't just download it for the price she says. Donate. Like, make sure that you're going above and beyond to find these women in hip hop and investing in them the same way you would invest in a young Basquiat, in a young Leonardo da Vinci, in a young LeBron James or a Kendrick Lamar. We have to really respect and honor the lineage that women in hip hop are coming from, and make sure that we are well resourced so we can continue to do this essential work. Vicky, thank you so much for joining us.
It's an honor. Thank you.
Of course. I'm going to play Canary Melody off of Ultra Rise Beats, and I know you got somewhere to go. I had no idea we would be on this long. This is the longest one, girl.
Might be one of my favorite interviews. Yeah, this was amazing.
Thank you. Yes. All right, y'all. We'll be back here at same time, same place next week. Um, Come fuck with me. Also, remember, tap in, grab one of these prints because we only have like maybe 70, no, 65 left in stock. So go to cocopeila.com/the print to get you a single or a 5 pack. It has my next.
One for the
Um,
house.
you said what?
One for the house. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you could put it up anywhere. There are 5 gorgeous colors. Y'all know all about that. If you don't, you can just go straight to cocopeila.com/the print. Support Black women-owned business and musicians. Get you the next single and a beautiful piece of timeless limited art. And go follow Vicky Casis right now and get her music. All right, love. Thank you so much.
You.
Yes, we did it. We did it.
That was amazing. Yeah, I think, yeah, literally the best interview. That was amazing. Thank you.
I'm so glad, girl.